Good morning, everybody, from a quite overcast Ellen Road here. It is Connor. You're here with One Leeds, and we're discussing, I thought it'd be absolutely poignant to be discussing Daniel Farke here at Ellen Road and his time here. But also, you know, we've done that on previous videos, and I'm really happy with what I'm seeing with Daniel Farke at the minute. But I want to discuss rating his signings so far at Ellen Road. And as I'm on the Centenary Square, it's quite poignant with all the awards and all this sort of stuff to discuss, and the trophies and all the beautiful things, and just going past Marcelo Bielsa and the 1920 squad. But I think it's quite right to discuss his signings so far and rating them. So I'm going to start with Joe Rodon. I think this guy has been arguably the best signing so far, Ben White-esque, but also just a fantastic professional and someone who's been available for Leeds United, albeit I believe one game, and he loves the club, you can tell already, and I'm a massive fan of how good he is ability-wise. I think Leeds getting him on a loan has been a really shrewd acquisition. I give him a 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10 for me so far, and that moves me smoothly onto Mr. Ethan Ampadu, who has just been, to say we've got him on a permanent, obviously we don't have Joe on a permanent, but Ethan Ampadu is just everything you want in a DM in this division. He's the best defensive midfielder in the division. He's the best midfielder in the division. I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. I think that signing has been nothing short of superb. Next on my list is Mr. Glenn Kamara. Now, Glenn Kamara for me, I'm going to stop walking around as much, but Glenn Kamara for me is the perfect midfielder. The silky smooth operator, with a lovely touch, press resistant, and someone who just has raw quality, absolute quality in everything he does. So for me, I'm looking at Glenn Kamara for £5 million, 9 out of 10. And you guys might be thinking, Connie, you've been a bit dramatic here. You've not given lower than a 9 out of 10. But for those three, I think there have been some of the top acquisitions, if not the top acquisitions, in the Championship this season. Sam Byram. Now, Byram for me has been a decent signing for what we expected. You know, we expected someone to come in with a vast injury record, and there has been a lot of injuries so far. And I think that's the only reason I'm going to give him this score. But overall, he's been solid from what we expect. He's been very, very decent in terms of going left back. I think he'd be able to fill in right back, probably centre midfield if was needed. And he's shown a real resurgence in his career, which was it was a career where Sam was in a lot of trouble. You know, Forest, Norwich, West Ham. And I think genuinely, from a progression point of view, he didn't have a lot. He's spoken about this in the Leeds United podcast. Didn't have a lot to go at when it came to clubs wanting him. He was injury prone. He's 30 years of age now. He's a utility man. He's probably not the best right back / left back in the Championship, if we're being brutally honest. But he's a worker. He's a grafter. And if we're being honest, he's everything that encapsulates what this place adores, side before self. And I think that is Byram. I think he'd head his grandma for Leeds United. I think he's done really, really well. So for that reason, I've convinced myself. I was having him as a 5, but I think you've got to give him a 7, really, for how impressive he really has been here at Ellen Road. So everybody, next on the list, Joel Perreault. 6 goals so far. It's been relatively impressive. I think there's a lot more to come from Joel. I'm still not like 110% convinced by him, but I think he fits in with the front four very, very well. And this front four has been devastating, you know, all the way from Ipswich to Millwall to Huddersfield to Leicester. It's been exceptionally good, and I think there's a lot to be said in just a player fitting in. And I think he's fitting really, really nicely with that group. And for that reason, I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. I think there's a lot more to come from him, to be honest with you. I think there's a lot more we can see from him in terms of his game and his pressing and his finishing. You know, I looked at that game against Leicester where he could have put us 1-0 up inside 2 minutes. Perfect opportunity for him. He blazed it wide. And I think there's just sometimes instances like that where it's not really clicking for him at this moment in time. But overall, I give him a 7. Next, Alaya Gruev. Interesting one. He's got bags of potential. Loves a tackle, by the way. Absolutely loves a tackle. And I would be giving him at this moment in time 5 out of 10. We can't really give him anything more. We can't really give him anything less. We've not seen enough of him, but when he's come on, he's been okay. The thing that's probably gone against him is the fact that when he was playing for Leeds United against Stoke City when he was given that chance. I don't think he was that impressive. I think he was safety first. The handbrake was on, and Leeds ultimately lost the game. And I think if we are to play him a little bit more often, you're going to have to see him partnered with Ethan Ampadu more and more and more, because Ethan Ampadu right now is a hallmark in this division. He's someone who's going to be playing for Leeds United, week in, week out, as you'd expect Glenn Kamara to do. But if there was one of those players to be rotated, it would be Glenn Kamara. So for that reason and that reason only, you're going to give him a 5 out of 10. I'm going to have to give him a 5 out of 10. Let's go on the next one. Jed Spence, 5 out of 10 again. We've not seen anything of him. You can't. I'm not going to judge him too harshly. I'm just going to give him a 5. I can't really be giving him anything more or anything less, really. There's nothing to see. There's a lot that you're probably expecting from him in the remainder of the Championship season. We're going to have to see more of him. But I will be giving him a solid sort of 5 out of 10. Let me know as well, everybody, in the comment section below if you disagree. If you agree, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, Jaden Anthony. Took me a while then. 6 out of 10. I like what I've seen of him so far. I think he's very efficient. I think he's very quick. I think he scored 7 goals and got 8 assists for Bournemouth in the Championship. I like him. I like him a lot. I'd be giving him a 6.5 out of 10, really. I think he's been really decent for Leeds when he's come on. The Watford game is a standout, obviously, when he got the goal. But yeah, guys, I think overall it's been a really, really successful period for Nick Hammond and for Leeds United in general. We've done a lot of really good business, which you can't really rate anything less than when they've played, anything less really than and consistently than an 8 out of 10. They've been very, very good, all of them. Byram, I'm sort of flittering between a 7 and an 8. But overall, I think it's been a really good window for Leeds. I think it's been really progressive in terms of our recruitment being good for once and paying off. And obviously, it's given us the ability to integrate people like Archie Gray and all this sort of stuff. So, yeah, let me know in the comment section below, guys, what you think. But I'm going to go with a very successful window for Leeds United.